What's going on, guys? It's your boy NDO Mike, and I got
NDO Champ in the building.
We got the Stretch Boss in the house.
Stretch Boss. Hey, everybody.
Mrs. Tina Rivera. Today's episode on Fitness and Life podcast, we have the Stretch Boss episode. We're going to be talking about the Stretch Boss, how him and NDO Champ met each other, how they work together. Also, what it's like working with Champ, and for Champ, what it's like working the Stretch Boss. This is an exciting episode for us. Stay tuned. Watch out.
Watch out. Bring your energy.
So boom. All right. So now, what you gonna be working on with him?
I'm going to be cupping him today.
For his back?
Yes, we're going to cup his whole back.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna do his back, and then are you gonna work on any other body groups?
Just his back, because you did deadlifts, right, the other day?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I did deadlift. I did a lot of pull down. You know, back is like my favorite exercise. So
Yeah, we all know that.
you know.
Big back.
Big back.
Yeah, big back.
You know, so somebody see me downtown and said, "Yo, Champ, I seen you." I said, "How you know it was me?" He said,
Your back.
Your back. You know, so.
Gotta get the big back.
So we're going to cup the whole back.
The whole back.
Yeah, we're going to do a little scraping. I usually hit him up with the Theragun first, just to warm up the tissue. Then I scrape the scar tissue, and then we lay on the cups.
Okay, so let's do it. Let's see what we're working on today.
Okay.
So he lays down flat. Let me know if I'm in the way.
Okie dokie.
You have a seat there if you want, sir.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes.
All right, so Tina, talk
Lift
to
up your
us.
feet. All right, what you want to
Before
know?
you were doing Stretch Boss,
Before I was the Stretch Boss?
yes. What were you doing before this?
Well, I'm still doing it. I do rehab.
Oh, so you were doing
So I'm a
rehab?
licensed physical therapist assistant.
Uh-huh.
Never mind what this guy keeps telling you. I'm a massage therapist.
You say you, right?
I do rehab during the day.
Rehab.
Yes. So I do PT. So I help people recover from different injuries.
Right.
You know, anything, ACL, shoulder surgery, all that good stuff.
That's why you're the specialist.
That's why you're the specialist.
Yeah.
So now let me ask you, before you started doing rehab, before all of this, tell me, like, what were you doing before that? Like, did you know, before you got into all of the rehab specialists, all of that stuff?
Yeah, that's a good story. I was in the car business for 10 years.
Okay.
So I actually got fired from the car business.
Okay.
And by that time when I got laid off or fired, I knew I didn't want to do it anymore. So I went down to the unemployment office and I wanted to make some side money because everybody knows unemployment is, you can't survive off of that.
Right.
And so I had my personal trainer certification that I didn't use because when I was in the car business, I had a 401k,
Right.
I was making good money, insurance. I didn't feel the need to use that.
Okay.
But a family friend, he owned a gym. I told him my situation. I said,
Right.
you know, I want to use my certification so I can make some cash on the side. And he said, all right, you can come in. I'll give you 3 clients, and then you're on your own from there. So I started training people, and I just realized people were really messed up. So
Okay.
I started training them, and like people couldn't do a basic squat, they couldn't do a lunge, and the whole time they're complaining to me about their knee hurts or their back hurts.
Right,
they
right,
can
right.
never do this exercise because of this or this injury. So I was like, man, people are like, they messed up. They messed up out here. Like, I gotta figure out how to fix them. So I started doing my own research online, Googling, YouTube, watching videos, and I would try some of these methods on my clients, and I started to get results.
Okay.
And they started to feel better, and they actually enjoyed that part of the workout session. Just more of like the rehab, stretching, mobility type drills.
Okay.
And someone at the gym saw me working on someone, and he's like, you know, you should think about going to school for PT. So I was like, okay. I don't know what that is. I didn't know what it was at the time. And he's like, you should think about it. He said, you should go for PTA, and I think unemployment will pay for you to go back to school. So I went to unemployment, and I spoke to, they gave me a counselor. I said, listen, this is what I want to do. I'm thinking about going back to school for this. Will you guys pay for it? She said, yes. We'll actually give you an extension for 2 years if you go back.
Wow.
So, yeah. So I went, scared because I hadn't been in school for 10 years. Had to go to Essex County. I thought you could just pick a major and say, here, this is what I want to do, and take the classes, but you actually have to test into it.
Okay.
So out of 300 applicants, they only take 25.
Wow.
So I had to take a test. I ended up getting in, and I found my passion. The first day I walked in, I saw the tables, I saw all the workout equipment. I was like, the hairs on my arms stood up. I said, this is it. This is what I was meant to do.
Oh, wow.
And I
That
took
was
it
the
from
thing you
there.
took off.
And that was it. And then I didn't have a plan B. It was only plan A because I refused to go back into the car business.
Like Champ,
So
no plan, they had no plan B.
I had no, that was it. So I got to make this work.
That's no choice.
There's no choice. I have a kid, you know, I'm in my 30s. This is it.
Right.
It's all or nothing. So I graduated, and then I had a couple of jobs. I landed a job here, and this office, I work here during the day as the acting PT or the licensed PT on staff, and it's not your typical rehab environment. So rehab, we do a lot of exercises, like basic exercises, correction exercises, things like that. And they kept asking me to stretch people. They were like, stretch this person, stretch this person. I was like, what the hell? I ain't go to school just to stretch people.
Yeah.
It was like a recurring theme. So just me being me and who I am, I started looking online, and I was just like, let me find something that's gonna benefit myself and benefit my patients. And so I found this 5-day course that you take out in Canada. It's in Toronto. You can only get certified in Canada and Arizona.
Okay.
It's 5 days. It's from 8 to 5 every day straight. All you do is stretching.
Wow.
So yeah, and so I didn't know when I took the class. I just thought I was learning a new technique
Right.
that you can actually do your own private session. So the last day of class, they tell you, oh, you can charge X amount of dollars. We're gonna show you how to market yourself. Blah 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 blah. So I came back to work. Mind you, when I went to I paid for the certification on my own. I love the doctors here that I work with, but they didn't think it was going to do much. They were just like, I don't think people are going to notice the difference in what you're doing compared to what you're doing already. They basically told me it was like a waste of money. And I was like, well, you know what? Yeah, so I was just like, you know what? Well, at least it's something that I have underneath my belt, you know, like another tool I'll have. So I came back, I started trying it on some of my patients, and I started getting really good feedback. People were like, oh, you know, like, you did that stretch on me, and now my back doesn't hurt anymore. I've been coming here for a couple of months now, and like, ever since you did that, and then word of mouth, people in the gym started to hear about me, and they're like, who's that girl in the back that we keep hearing about? She does all these crazy stretches. So from there, I just took the opportunity. I said, well, obviously people like what I'm doing. I'm like, if you want a full session, you can come see me privately. And then what happened with that was people started to see me for private sessions, but when they would come in, they'll be like, well, this and this hurts.
Right.
So I'd be like, okay, I know you're here for the stretching, but I'm also gonna cup you or scrape you. Then the PT and me started taking, because my whole premise is I just want to fix you. I don't care what it is that I have to do. I just want to get people going and moving. So I was like, even though they came in for one thing, I would end up doing like 3 different things, just try to get them better. And that's how the Stretch Boss came about, and that's how people started to know my name. I didn't give my name the Stretch Boss. My co-worker did.
People gave you that, okay.
They gave me that name. And then how I met Champ was one of my co-workers here actually trained with him back in the day.
Okay.
And
what's his name, by the way? So we'll give him a
Alberto.
shout out. Alberto. Okay. Shout out to Alberto. You trained with Champ back in the days. But it's not the same Champ now. Right?
So he trained with Champ, and we were talking. He's like, Tina, they have to, like, people have to see what you're doing. Like, this is big. Like, you're onto something. And I said, okay. He said, you got to do social media. I was like, I don't want to do social media. You know, I'm too old for that and all this other stuff. I wasn't really big on social media. And he was like, no, I'm telling you, we're gonna do one for you right now. So he helped me open up the account. They gave me the name, the Stretch Boss. And then he's like, you gotta get somebody like this guy. And he brought up Champ's page. And he's like, you gotta work on somebody like him. Like, people gotta see you, what you're doing, and that you get to work on these athletes. And he's like, this guy, I trained with him back in the day. Look at him, he like blew up. He's doing so good. So he's talking to me about Champ, and I just DM'd him. And I was
While
like,
he was
"All right."
talking?
While he was talking, I was like, this, and I saw how many. I just had Instagram. I think I maybe had like 500 followers. I don't even know. And I was like, all right, let me see what happens. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, this guy has so many followers. He's not gonna get back to me. 5 minutes later, I checked my messages. I was like, this guy got back to me.
Yeah.
And I offer my services. I offer them for free for the first one. I was like, listen, you know, I see that you train a lot. Do you have anybody that works on you? Like, you know, you could use a recovery specialist. And he got back to me. He was like, no one had offered him that before. So he was just like, we're gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna come through, I'm gonna see what you're about. I need this. And I think you were in Texas, and he did like 5 different events. He was beat up. So he was like, I need this. So he came through, and then that was it. From there,
everything was history.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you. I know you didn't speak on that, but at some point you were doing powerlifting.
I did, yeah. So while I was in school, I actually did powerlifting when I was in PTA school. I competed twice. I got into that because I did dabble in bodybuilding. I trained twice for figure. For those of you who know about bodybuilding, we talking about figure when they had a one-piece bathing suit. So that's how long ago it was. But it never suited me. The same gentleman who actually gave me those 3 clients, he promoted bodybuilding shows. So I knew him. He's actually a friend of the family's.
Right.
I would go behind the scenes in the bodybuilding show, so I knew what part took. And you know, no disrespect to the bodybuilders, but it's a lot of politics involved.
Right.
And that's not how I move. So it was just like, I'm not gonna bust my ass in the gym for a whole year and someone's gonna win because they know X, Y, and Z. That doesn't sit right with me.
Okay.
So, but when I was training, I always pushed myself. I would always want to go heavier. I always competed with myself. I never competed with nobody else in the gym. People were like, oh, you should compete. You should try competing. You know, like your physique is there. I don't need to compete. I compete myself every morning when I come into this gym. I don't need somebody next to me. You know, I have numbers in my head that I want to do. I have numbers so they noticed that I like to train heavy, and I would always like, oh, I want to do this weight. I had numbers in my head. Somebody said, you should try powerlifting. A friend of mine. And she was dabbling into it. And she took me under her wing a little bit. And so I had a bunch of different teachers. And it wasn't till I got with a team in Apollon. And in order for you to train with this team at Apollon Gym, you had to compete.
Okay.
They didn't want you there, unless you were doing a meet. So that they didn't see the purpose of you just coming in just to train, to train. So, you know, I trained with them. I followed the West Side method of powerlifting. For those of you who don't know, they're very big in the powerlifting, and that's like the guru. He's like the guru of powerlifting. Right. Louis Simmons. I followed the West Side program, and I got strong. I believe my squat was like 255, my deadlift was 340 or 330, and my bench was 145. That was like my best at the time. Yeah, and I got strong off of that program. It was a really good program. And I did that for like 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and I love it. That's still my passion. I love
You still powerlift now?
I do, but I don't compete. But those main lifts, the compound lifts, are always what I go for. If I go in the gym and if I don't know what to do, I'll deadlift.
Okay.
Because that's just my preference.
That's great. All right, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now with Champ got his face on the thing, so I mean.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I've been talking to Stretch Boss for a little bit until. Do you plan on changing positions with him or?
No, he's gonna stay here.
So, all right. So now, as an attractive female in the sport, what's the word I'm looking for? Massage.
Oh, recovery. Okay.
Right. How do you deal with, like? Because I know like a lot of your clients are males, yes? Females as well?
Yes, I have males and females.
How do you deal with like the males that come in and they're like, I don't know, like as a female in the industry?
I haven't had any problems with that. And I think because it's my demeanor when you meet me.
Okay.
I'm a boss.
Right, Stretch Boss.
So I think I give that persona like.
I'm gonna tell you, I asked that question when I took a picture with you, right? A lot of my male friends was more concerned that wait, she does like stretching. I would love for her to work on me.
Yeah.
But they were more like she's attractive, so for that reason, I would like her services, right?
Yeah.
Not so much like does she do a good job. You know what I mean? So I'm sure in that sense that you get a lot of males that come in and they're like, oh, you know, she looks good. Let me hit on her.
I mean, when you're on this table with me, there's no time for that.
Right.
I mean, Champ can tell you a lot of the stuff doesn't feel good. So,
You're in pain.
so it's not like, I don't think there's any room for that. And as a female, I think, you know, it's what you put out there.
Okay.
You know, the vibes you give, and how professional you are. So
we got that covered because I know she's an attractive woman. And I know a lot of people follow you because you're an attractive massage therapist expert. I would never get that right. Stretch boss, whatever. You know what I mean? Now, however, with Champ, he does a lot of events, right? He does a lot of powerlifting events.
Yeah.
You know, he hosts different events. He doesn't stretch. I'm gonna speak for him, right? How do you help him not get injured?
Not get injured?
Yeah, because he doesn't stretch before he works out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when he's like, yo, let's go, and we got to stretch first, and he don't care about stretching.
Well, to be honest with you, he actually has really good genetics, so he's limber already.
Right, his body type.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. Like the first time I worked on him, I was like, wow, like he's pretty limber.
Right.
So he's probably just one of those people who, I mean, he has to stretch, warm up, but not compared to some of the people that come on my table. Like I have guys, they're just one big muscle. If I take their leg and I flip it this way, the whole body's going. Because they don't have any disassociation of the way their body moves.
And he has that.
He has that, yeah. He's pretty limber.
Do you think that those leg kicks he be doing helps him a lot with that as
helps.
well?
Yeah.
Because his legs go around.
Yeah.
So it's almost like he's stretching
No,
almost.
that's the question I get a lot when people find out that I work on him. They're like, oh, he's got to be so hard to work on. I'm like, actually, he's not.
Really?
Yeah, he's not hard to work on at all. His muscles, like the way when you learn to deal with people, like see how this tissue glides? Like I'm going here, you see it. Some people it's just like a dead stop.
Right.
It's so rock hard and dense. But he has good, like his fascia, he has good glide, and just moving him around is easy.
It's a lot easier.
But a lot of people just assume because he's a bigger guy that he's just tough to work on. He's actually not. I have other people who are half the size of him, and it's hard.
It's hard to work on him.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how long have you been working with Champ for now? How long has it been?
How long has it been, Champ? 2 years?
Yeah, it says August 2018, right?
Yeah.
So about 2 years. Now tell me, what's your favorite thing about Champ? What's one of your favorite things about his personality?
Oh, I can tell you.
Besides his motivational stuff.
No, my favorite thing about him is he's loyal and he's humble. Like I tell people that all the time. Like what he preaches about, that's who he is.
Okay.
Yeah. People ask me that and they're like, oh, is he? I'm like, he's loud, but when he comes here, he's not loud.
Right.
But he's just, he has a real genuine personality, and he's loyal to the people around him, and you see that, and it comes through.
Yeah.
You know? And not too many people are like that. They don't ride for everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he really wants people to win. He really wants everybody to win. It's a unit, you know. And the O Nation for real, like that's just what it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and people don't understand that. They think it's, you know, some people think it's a gimmick, but he wants everybody to win.
One thing too, like he has an eye for talent.
Yes.
Like he, you know, it doesn't matter. Like if you come to him, you could have 2 followers, and you could not be so strong in the gym, but he will see something else in you that other people don't see.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing, that's a special trait that a lot of people don't have.
Yes.
Most people, they're blinded by what you show, right? You got to have 1 million followers, and you got to be this and be that, or be strong in the gym.
Yes.
I mean, but for him, he's not looking for that. There's certain things that he looks for that he's not going to tell you, this is what I'm looking for.
Yes.
But you figure that out on your own as time goes on.
Yeah.
So for me, that's one of the things I noticed about his personality. You know, of course, you know, loyalty is one thing, trust is one thing. It takes a long time to build trust, but it takes one time to screw it up.
Yeah.
And for me, once you screw up trust, it's kind of hard
to come back from.
to come back from it. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things about his personality is trust. You know, you don't have to be the strongest guy out there. You don't have to be the most talented guy out there. Whatever position you play on the team, it doesn't matter to him. As long as he trusts you and he sees the potential, he's going to keep giving you a chance.
Yes.
And that's one of the things I noticed. And for you, I think that the potential is pretty much there. And I think that's one of the reasons why he keeps
Coming back.
and working with you for now until he becomes a superstar.
Yes.
You know, he gets that mega $1 million deal and he's Hollywood now. You know, I mean, we're going to have to call his assistant
Yeah.
to reach out to him and stuff like that. He's not saying nothing. You know what I mean? So now when you work on him, right? When he comes to you and say like, Tina, you know, I have pain here, my glutes or my quads or my shoulders or my back, do you usually have like specific technique that you use, not just for him in general, for like anyone that comes around that says that they have a pain in several places?
Yeah, that's a good question. So my treatment style is I work in systems and in movements.
Okay.
So what that means is, like today is just generic. We're just working on his whole back.
Right.
But if you came to me with a specific injury, I usually work above and below, and I work all the muscle groups around it.
Right.
So a lot of the times people be like, oh, it hurts here, and you know they only want you to touch here, but there's a lot of things that attach there.
Connected.
So you can't just hit there. Our body, we're not robots, we're not robotic. Everything is a synergy. It all works together. It's a system.
Right.
So whatever, if it's your shoulder, it's the front of your shoulder, I'm gonna attack everything above and below it, and above, below it, and around it.
Okay.
Because it's not only gonna be one thing. When one muscle works, right, the other one has to turn off.
Exactly.
Or you know, one muscle is working, but there's probably 2 or 3 other muscles assisting that muscle. So you just can't depend on one specific area when somebody's complaining about an injury. So that's just my treatment, or movements too. So like, I like to simplify things, which I think comes across when I speak sometimes in videos. I could use big words, but nobody gives a shit about the big words.
Exactly,
like, you know what I mean? Like no one cares about that. All I need to know is where it hurts. So people come to me, it hurts when I do this. Okay, so when does it hurt? When I do this. Okay, so we're gonna fix that position. We're gonna fix. So I see things in movement. That's just how I see things in movements. Okay, this is the movement that hurts. I'm gonna get you better in that specific. Okay, what are all the muscles that help you do that
Connected
movement?
muscles, right.
That's just how I process things in my head, and that's my treatment style.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's different. Now let me ask you this though. What's the difference between you and a chiropractor?
Oh, chiropractors, there's a huge difference. They do adjustments. So they actually work with bones. I mean, I can do adjustments too. Legally, we're not supposed to.
Right.
But they deal with bones, and we just deal with muscles.
Okay, so there's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference. I mean, our philosophies are the same, you know, because it's more of a holistic approach.
Right.
We're trying to get you better, just using non-invasive ways.
Okay.
So, but their main function, or the priority for them is to deal with the bones.
With the bones.
Yeah.
So now there's a thing about cracking necks. I want to ask you, right? A lot of guys that train, they don't want a chiropractor to crack their necks, right? What's your opinion on that? Because they say that if you can easily, what's the word I'm looking for, like permanently damage somebody from that, right? So what's your opinion on cracking necks? Is that something that you do, or do you believe that it helps fix?
So I work for a chiro, and I get adjustments, you know, whenever I feel like I need to get adjusted. I don't have a problem with it. I think the issue with it is just like anything in life, you're gonna have a good cop, bad cop, you're gonna have a good chiro, a bad chiro. So people, I think, might have had bad experiences with chiropractors, but if you find the right one, like, it'll change your life. You know, you'll see a difference. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You can adjust your neck. It's just the technique that the chiropractor uses and how gentle or aggressive they are.
Okay.
So just like anything else, you can go to get your nails done. You have a good nail tech, bad nail, or barber. You go to barber, you know, good barber, bad barber. So it's all the same.
It's all the same.
Yeah, I think just people have encountered they not so good chiropractors.
Now, I'll typically for him, like, I'm not sure how often he comes here, but like when you work on a person, right? How long should they take from seeing you before they can come back again?
It depends. Like Champ beats his body up often.
Oh, very often, yeah.
So for him, he would have to be like someone who sees me like once a week or every 2 weeks. Sometimes 2 times, and it depending on how what he's doing, what's on his schedule.
Okay.
The average person could see me like once a month.
Once a month.
Here's
okay.
the thing. In my practice, in my private business, my goal and my intent for people is to fix them in 1 or 2 visits.
Right.
That's always my intention.
Right.
To be honest with you, I'm not trying to see people 3 times a week.
Right.
You have insurance, you can go to the rehab center and do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my goal is to fix you, and then you just come to me for maintenance.
For maintenance, yeah.
When people come to me and they're like really, really hurt, I get athletes, I get competitors, but I do get people who come to me as a last resort.
Okay.
They've been everywhere. They've done
it's not
chiro,
working.
they've done
Yeah.
rehab, they've gotten injections, they've had surgeries, and they're still in a lot of pain.
Okay.
And those people, it's my goal to usually get them better within 1 or 2 visits.
Okay. Now, what's your opinion on those injections? Do they work?
It depends on where. There's a bunch of different injections. So there's injections where they get cortisone shots, right? Those I don't want to offend anyone, but I'm not a fan of them because they actually do damage in the long run. So they actually degenerate your bone.
Right.
So you feel good, it's a Band-Aid, but it's actually eating up at the bone and then where the ligaments and tendons around it, and then later on, it ends up being worse than what it was.
I've heard that.
Yes, so I'm not a fan of them, but they now have stem cells, right, which are injections. You do PRP and you do stem cells. Stem cells comes from your body. I'm a huge fan of that because it's your body healing itself.
Right.
They have to take the stem cells from somewhere and then inject it to the area for your shoulder or your knee, and there's huge benefits to that, and people are getting really good results. But when you take the steroids and they're injecting it in an area, yes, you get some relief for maybe about 6 months to a year, but then then it comes back, and it comes back with a vengeance. So I'm not a fan of those shots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, like, don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, only if like you're in severe pain, like you on the borderline of taking pain meds because you can't deal with the pain, then, but if you could hold off on that and just strengthen the muscles around the area, then you should be fine.
You'll be fine, okay.
Yeah.
Now, in what way does Champ motivate you? Because I know he motivates everyone.
Oh yeah.
Tell me, with everything that he does, with his motivational speech, what way does he motivate you in your personal life or in your professional life?
Both. His grind and his hustle is crazy.
Yeah, being around him makes you want to.
It makes you want to, like.
I know.
When you see like how he just goes, and he still got a smile on his face. How can you not? How can that not motivate you?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I know that feeling, And for a lot of people, that's how most people feel about him. Like they watch his stuff, or just being around him alone makes you want to just be great on a different level.
Yes.
You might not feel like you're on that level, but when you meet him, he's just like, man, I could even do this, I could do that, and I could do better than what I was.
Yeah.
And just for him to be motivating millions of people is just like amazing.
Yeah.
I know you see all of his crazy skits and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
All the kicking the fruit and videos and stuff. What do you think of them?
I love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're funny.
Okay.
It adds another side to him. You always want to see more than one side to a person. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
so it
dope.
gives him a different personality.
Personality.
Because I know people in the beginning when does he like yell? Is he like super aggressive? I'm like, no. For people in the beginning, everybody thought that as soon as he enters a room, he's like yelling at you and screaming at you.
That's not the case. Now for the Stretch Buzz now, is that like what's the ultimate goal? Is that like a company? Is that a brand? Are you looking to expand with that? What's your plan for the name?
So 2020, my plan is that I have my own office and I won't be in here.
And we're gonna throw a big party.
And we're gonna do yes, everybody's invited. Yes, a big opening. So
Awesome.
the goal is to have my own business, and I want to make it a full lifestyle. So like again, my goal is to fix people, to get them better.
Right.
And there's different ways of doing that. A lot of chronic pain in your body is created through inflammation.
Okay.
So my goal is to, well, I want it to be an experience. So when people come in here, like, you're gonna have to drink a liter of water before you get on my table.
Right.
Because your fascia, which is the tissue,
Right.
it likes water. So you have to
Okay.
get hydrated, and it helps things to move and glide better, right?
Right.
So like there's gonna be a whole protocol, and then you're gonna do that. Then you come in, I work on you, and then I want to have my own supplements. I want to have my own anti-inflammatory supplements, my own anti-inflammatory creams, things, because I want to assist you from the inside out.
Right,
you know,
right.
because I could do all, but so much on the outside. But
exactly.
if you eating garbage food and you're consuming all this things that are going to create inflammation in your body, you're just going to keep coming back to me.
Keep coming back,
you know,
okay.
and that's like I understand when you go into business. Obviously, everybody wants to be a millionaire, and you want to have like $1 million business. That's your goal. But I just want to get people better. That's the approach. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like I work for a doctor's office, so you go through insurance. This is why people come in here 3 times a week. But I find there's a huge disconnect. Don't ask me where it is. I don't know what's going on. But I do know that when people come into me and they tell me that they've been everywhere and they've seen this, that person, and I'm able to get them 80% better within one session, then there's a disconnect there. There's something wrong.
Something wrong, right.
You know that you could see me one time and feel 80% better, but you've gone to a chiro, or you've gone to a PT, you've gotten injections, and none of that stuff worked, and then you came here. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Either somebody's taking your money, or there's just a disconnect between the practitioner and the patient on the table.
I mean, a lot of good practitioners out there.
Yeah.
Because I had back issues, and you made sure I left here without the pain.
Yes.
Everyone else I went to, they didn't do that.
Exactly.
It was more like, oh, come next week, we'll try to fix some more
We'll try
stuff.
to, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I actually get upset. People come to me and they tell me like, oh, I'm like 80%. Okay, we'll come back the next time. Come back one more time so we could just get rid of it. Like, that's just, like, I get fixated on that stuff because that's just my primary goal. Yeah, and that's like, something that I want to, people don't understand because I don't take insurance, but that's the difference or the value in the service. Like, you get me one-on-one, and I'm actually listening to you and what your problem is. Again, like I said, I really feel like there's a disconnect between what's going out there and when you go to your doctor's office or you go to rehab or chiro or what. And I'm not disrespecting anybody's field, but I'm just telling you what I see when they come in to me.
Yeah.
I had a guy, he was like, I just started the private sessions, and he came to me from Staten Island.
Okay.
I was scared. The guy came in, and now I'm just doing my stretching, right? So I was just like, okay. He booked a stretch appointment. I just started. He was out in the front, and he could barely stand up straight. Like, literally, like, he came walking hunched over into the room, and I'm like, oh my God, like, am I going to be able to fix this person?
Right.
I'm like, this might be out of my scope of practice. And he told me he had back surgery, he was going to rehab, he had acupuncture, and he saw a chiro. And he still could not stand straight. And he had just had back surgery. He was in the middle of still going to rehab, and he said whoever his clinician was, he just kept telling them, I need to really, like, I feel like something's pulling, like, I just need to be stretched out. And they're like, okay, we'll go in the corner and do these stretches. And then he would still feel the same. So he went and tried like all these different things. He saw me on Instagram. He's like, all right, let me just try this lady. Like I was literally like his last resort. I sat him down on the table. He laid down. I said, we're just going to stretch you. I'm going to start there. Because I didn't know what was going on. I knew he had just had back surgery. Let's start here. I did a 60-minute stretch session, and the man just stood up tall off the table.
Wow.
Like, he was like, why didn't anybody do this to me before? Yeah. It's just like, are people not listening to what's going on? Like, I get it as a practitioner. Like, if you come to me and you tell me this hurts, right? it hurts here. A lot of people just want you to dig in there, dig in there, dig in there, and you're like, okay, wait, yeah, we're gonna get to that, but there's other things that we need to address.
Next to it, right?
But I feel like there's a disconnect of like giving people what they want versus what they need,
Right.
and then just meeting them in the middle.
Right.
You know, so like, okay, it hurts here. Explain to them why you're doing what you're doing,
Right.
and then touch that area, address it, just so they could feel like you gave them, attention. I mean, it probably doesn't need to get attended to, but and just see what happens. But I feel like a lot of the times, people come in, they say it hurts here, then they just dig in there, and then the person walks away and they still feel the same.
Right.
Or I've had people say, well, no one really paid attention. I told them it hurts here, and they did this, and that, and never even looked over here, and they still didn't fix me.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's just like, so I think you just have to find a balance of how to address.
Yeah.
And which I accredit me being in the car business too, because when you're in customer service,
Yeah.
so you have to learn how to deal with people, which is why everything happens for a reason in
Works out.
life.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, I think that kind of helps me to deal with people more and pay attention and listen to what it is that they're saying.
Okay, so now with these cups, right?
Yes.
Tell me exactly what this does for people, or in what way does this help people when they come in?
When they come in, so we use it for multiple reasons. Champ right now, for the sake of him just doing deadlift and back, this is more for recovery.
Okay.
So we're pulling blood up to the surface, and the more blood that you have in the area, the better chances you have of recovering.
Okay.
So the negative air pressure of the gun that I just placed on here pulls the blood up to the surface.
Okay.
And then that blood has a chemical compound that actually breaks up some of the lactic acid in the muscle, which is why Michael Phelps, he made it most famous at the Olympics.
Right.
The reason why he was getting cupped was obviously he's an Olympic athlete. They're doing multiple events throughout the day.
Right.
He can't afford to be stiff, right? You can't afford to wake up in the morning super tight.
Right.
So they do this to be one ahead of the game. So to try to push all that lactic acid so he could be freely moving and ready to go, primed and ready.
Okay.
So that's why we're doing that today. Some of my bodybuilders, obviously Champion is a bodybuilder, but they'll come to me on their off season and they might have a lagging body part. So again, we're pulling blood to the surface, right? We're opening everything up. So I'll cup an area that might be lagging. They feel like it's not growing like the rest of the body, the other body parts. And they'll go the next day, if not that same day, and work out. And they get all that blood flow rushes into the area, so they get a really good pump, and that allows for growth.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why a lot of the bodybuilders come to me in their off season. They do scraping and cupping, and that kind of just opens everything up and adds for fresh blood flow, and that's when the muscle starts to grow.
Okay.
Yeah, people don't understand, like, even when you stretch, like, if everything's tacked down, your muscle, like, think of a chicken cutlet, right? When when you clean it, you have that white sheet, that white stuff that everybody scrapes off. That's what we have. That's considered fascia.
Right.
When it's supposed to glide. It's supposed to be like two silk sheets over one another.
Right.
When it doesn't, and it starts to get tacked down and you get scar tissue, it's almost like suffocating the muscle, so it won't allow you to grow. You don't see that separation that you want when you're getting ready to lean out, because everything is kind of adhesions or adheres down together, like sticking together. So when you do stuff like this, it opens it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why stretching is important, because your muscle is only gonna grow the more you stretch it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like a balloon, right? You blow it up, it's stretching out, it's growing. So it's the same thing. So if it's short and stocky and tight, it's gonna grow but so much.
Right.
Now once you start to open everything up, you're stretching the tissue, you're stretching the muscle, now the body knows, oh, I can elongate to this length, or I can, open up, and so it allows for more blood flow to go through, which is why stretching and a lot of these modalities are important.
Oh wow. Now what about guys that when they put the cup, they cut the skin for the blood to...
Yes, I don't do that. They do that because they believe that the blood that you're pulling to the surface. So on some people, it will get you'll get like a really dark purple, almost like black, and that is.
So you don't recommend it?
It's not that I don't recommend it. It's just a different style. And for me, as a medical practitioner, because I am licensed by the state of New Jersey, I wouldn't want to cut somebody and got that. To me, it adds for a lot of infection things. If you cut somebody and the cup is not cleaned properly, you could get bacteria in there. So there's just too much liability in that for me to do it.
Right.
But that's from a different culture, and they do that because they believe that you're actually cutting open the skin and taking out the impurities. So you're detoxing the body.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's not my preference.
Not your thing,
and it's just too much liability for what I do. Because God forbid I cut somebody, I cut them too deep. It gets infected, or they scar and they don't like the scar. There's just too much going on there for me to take a chance with my business.
Okay, so that makes sense. Now let me ask you this though: if you was to have Champ's strengths, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna give you options. Option 1, strength in the gym.
Okay.
Option 2, mental strength.
Okay.
Option 3, his ability to survive when things are going wrong. You know what I mean? And option 4, just like being able to, do what he does on a daily basis. That requires strength as well.
Yeah.
Which one of those would you want to have?
Mental strength.
The mental strength, okay.
Yeah, because what the mind can perceive, the body can achieve.
The body can achieve, okay.
So, always mental strength.
The mental strength is one ability you want to have.
Yeah.
Strength. Okay,
yeah.
That's awesome. I would say weaknesses, but I don't really know that he has a lot of
weaknesses.
I don't know a lot of weaknesses. Besides, he's sleeping. He likes to sleep a lot. But
he's tardy to the party a lot.
Oh yeah, he's sleeping right now. That's why I turned his microphone up. You guys knocked out.
No, I'm listening.
He's sleeping. But no, yeah, that's great. Let me. Do I have any more questions? Do you have anything you want to say, Champ? Well, what we're gonna do is that when we take this off, we're gonna go in the room, and then. But for now, I want you any motivational speech like you want to give in general. Like, let's say like somebody who wants to get into an activity, whether it's like doing what you do or any other activity. What advice would you give anyone out there, or even starting their own business in general?
Okay. So anybody who wants to start their own business. I come from a family who, my mother and father were born and raised in Newark, New Jersey. They didn't graduate high school.
Right.
They were teenage parents. So I would consider myself at some point not business savvy, but I did what felt right to me. So I always go with my gut, and just try to learn from other people around you and what you feel is gonna fit into what you're doing. I try not to stray away from that. I go what feels right and what is gonna fit into my lifestyle, my beliefs, and how I want to do things. Because I feel like once you start straying away and you start going into tapping into things that you might not be you, that's when things go wrong. I would tell people who want, because I do get DMs of people who are in school and they say they want to do something similar to what I'm doing.
Right.
They're in PT school or PTA school. Get your hands on as much people as you can, because experience trumps everything.
Okay.
I've been in school and I had the experience of life being in the car business. Then I was a personal trainer, so I knew how to touch and deal with people. And I was never afraid to put my hands on somebody to fix them. So try to do that as much as possible, because when you put your hands on somebody, I don't know. There's a lot of people out there who don't believe in like the transfer of energies, but I do, because once I started touching people and you really get into dealing with people, you do feel, some people come in here and they drain my energy. There's people who, come in here and they motivate me, or they just get me going. So it's just a different vibe. So you want to try to get your hands on a lot of people, because there's nothing worse than you touching somebody and that person on the table does not feel comfortable with you. If you don't feel confident in what you're doing, once you put your hands on somebody, they're like, oh, this person don't really know what they're doing.
Right.
And then they're not going to want you to touch them. Or even you could have done the best job that you could have, and because you weren't confident in the beginning, oh, she didn't know what she was doing. You know, I didn't feel right when she
Right.
touched me.
Right.
So just be confident. Like go in there, fake it till you make it, baby. Just
Right.
go in there and start putting your hands on people, and you know, you just gotta own it. So do that and do your own research, because people come up to me when I was in PTA school. They teach you the basics. It's just for you to pass the state boards. Okay, so they're gonna teach you the 101. All this other stuff, the techniques that I use, the cupping, the scraping, the taping, the kind of cupping that I do, that came from me doing my own research and
Right.
just going out there. And again, what do I want to look for? What do I feel is going to add value to me and to my client?
Okay.
What's going to benefit and what interests me?
Right,
you know,
right.
because part of the reason, I'll be honest with you, that I went back to school later in life was I really didn't know what I wanted to do
Right,
when I
right.
graduated out of high school. I went to college my first 2 years because that's what I was told to do,
Right.
and I flunked out.
Right.
Because I was like, I don't know why I'm here. Like,
Right, like most of us, yeah.
I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life. So when I went to classes, it was just like I didn't take it serious, because I was like, this is not what. Why am I going to take this serious? I don't even know if this is going to make me money
Make you
or
money,
if this
right,
is what I
right.
want to do for the rest of my life. So just find stuff that interests you, because when something you're passionate about and interests you, I can't even describe it. It just becomes easier for you
Right.
to read stuff, to do your research, to get engaged, to take classes. It just becomes second nature.
Right.
And that's how I knew when I went to PTA school, like, oh, I just found my passion, because everything just came to me. It wasn't, I mean, obviously you have to study and you have to do things like
Right,
that,
right.
but I made more in an effort doing that than I've done anything else.
Right.
You know, there was like, my back was against the wall. I'm a single parent. Like, you know, I'm trying to get through school. I don't have a plan B, but also it was easy for me to connect the dots and make
Right.
sense of what was going on, because it was something that I was passionate. I had researched on my own already prior to getting there. So I tell people, do your research, because when I come out of school, I want to do what you're doing. You got to pay your dues. You got to get your hands on people, treat people, see people with different diagnoses. Don't be afraid to talk and deal with different body types, you know, different injuries, so I would say just get your hands and, you know, be responsible for your education.
Okay.
You know, just do your own research and figure out what interests you.
You heard that, guys? Do your research. Get your
Yeah.
education from the stretch boss herself. So after the cupping, what do you plan on doing with him next? That's just pretty much it.
After the company, we'll take them off. I'll just kind of, you know, rub them out a little bit, and then he'll be done.
Okay. So after the cupping, as you guys can see, she's gonna take the cup off, rub it off, and then we'll talk to Champ. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Later.
Hold on. So, yeah, it's gonna be a disaster when this shit get on. When I gotta edit this shit.
No, I think you turned it off.
I did. I know. I had to. We shot in Diamond Gem. I'm outside. Across the street, filming. All you hear is Hakimo in the background. Yo, I'm waiting for Champ and Mike. Know where they at? Mind you, he's in the gym in the back.
Oh, wow.
I'm outside the gym with the camera. I'm like, damn, man. So, everything. And they don't know that we'll be filming, somebody walk away, and they're having a whole side conversation. Everything is on the camera. So they got to get used to the body mic. So now, what's this you're doing on him?
This is just a Theragun.
Uh-huh.
It's just a percussion machine,
Okay.
so it's just it adds a little massage because you feel a little tight,
Okay, okay.
especially from the cups.
It tickles.
It tickles.
Yeah, I mean, you used it on my, oh man. Because when you watch it, it doesn't look as bad as it feels.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't look that bad, but when you actually do it on a person, it's crazy. Okay. Now, Champ, how do you enjoy working with the Stretch Boss, aka Mrs. Tina Rivera?
Yeah, man. I think, you know, with me, man, I get a lot of DMs, and I answer my DMs. I don't care if you have 20 followers, 50 followers. As long as you have a potential, you have a dream, you have a vision, and I see you have that hustle in you, you know what I mean? I'm gonna respond. So when she hit me up, I'm like, yo, I want to work with you. And I just did a event in Texas with Big Michi.
Okay.
And we did, I think we did 315 for like about 50 to 60 reps or 30 reps on the deadlift. Then after that, we did like a bench it up competition. So it was like one of the biggest events I ever did. And I got that DM. I was out there. I'm like, hold up. Then I went through a photo and I'm like, I want to see what you do. So when I came back, I'm like, yo, when can we meet? You know what I'm saying? And I came, and I saw the stretch balls, and I don't know, I think you stretched me out, and I'm like, yo, I don't feel no pain, man. I was tight on the plane, you know what I'm saying? My whole body was aching, my whole back was tight, my lower back, and when I'm like, yo, this is it. This is it. Then another time I was getting ready for a show in my laps. I couldn't do like a back double bicep. I couldn't do front double bicep. And I'm like, yo, Tina, you gotta fix me, man. Yo, I can't open up my laps. Yo, she went and dig into my laps, bro. When I did the show, I was like a bird, man, like an eagle flying on stage, like stretching. And another time again, because when I got shot, I was putting more pressure on my right side. Because I was on the crunches, so I was putting more pressure because I had to limp with one leg. So it was a lot of weight on my right side. So when I me being in the gym, trying to squat, every time I do like 2-3 sets, I would feel a sharp pain on my right side because I put too much pressure on it. And when I met her, you know what I mean, she did her thing, man. And since then, I'm squatting 5 plates to the bucket, pause. I'm talking about all the way to the bucket. You know what I'm saying? It's Tina helped me a lot in my career, man, you know. And I recommend, that's why, you know what I'm saying, it's not about, you know what I'm saying, I just want everybody to know, like, everybody to come see her, like, yo, come see her. Like, every client I got, I said, listen, now, if you train me for a week, because the way I train, that's how I'm going to train. I'm not going to train you soft. We're going to train tough. We're going to muscle through the pain. And if you want to come back the next 2 weeks, you got to come see her. You understand what I'm saying? And we've been spreading the word, man. We've been, what's that, almost 18 months? And we've been rocking, man. And the crazy part, since I've been working with her, I've been seeing a lot of big names come up to me, a lot of big company come up to me like, yo, I offer you this, I offer you that. I'm like, man, I'm with Tina. I'm with the stretch balls, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going nowhere, man. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause loyalty, trust, man. Like, yo, we helping each other to build, to inspire people. She want to change lives. She just want to change and fix people to be great. Like, so that if I come here, I'm supposed to see her 3 times a month. Sometimes I see her once a month. She had to call me a champ. Listen, come in. I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta come in, cause I be feeling great. You feel me? So, yeah, bro, that's how important. You know what I mean? She played a lot of big part in my career. You know, and I appreciate that. You know,
I appreciate you.
That's a big facts.
I tell everybody that.
Yeah, that was a big fact. I remember when she hit me, she had like, what's that, 500?
I think I had like 500
followers.
Yeah. Like, this man is not gonna get
You know
back
what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, listen, man, you so great.
crazy.
I put you on my main page. I put on the top of the page. Like, yo,
afterwards.
like, yo, boom. And people be like, and everybody ask me, yo, how she
do that?
how she do that? She I said, man, she flipped me around like a chicken, man. She's strong. Yeah, like, check her page, she lift. Ain't like somebody who, you know what I mean, ain't no massage. Like, she gonna stretch you. No, man, and that's, yeah, man, it was all love. It was all love. Yeah, the whole team now, you know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part of the nation, you know? Like, it's always about my people around me. I want to see everybody do great. I want to see everybody, you know what I'm saying, win. So if I have somebody, if I meet somebody who great at what they do, I want to bring all my family to them. Like, yo, y'all got to go see her. 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 Because I'm the only one going to be in the gym wilding, because I be doing a lot, you know what I'm saying? I train 7 days a week. I do skate. I do movies. You know what I mean? I do a lot. I train with a team. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Now I have my own personal trainer that put me through war every day. And I still have to train with my homeboys there. I still have to train with a team. you know. So I'm a human being, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a lot
I get
of wear
beat
and
up.
tear,
It's a
yeah.
lot, you know what I mean. So, and when I come to her, you know, it's like, all right, I'm back again. I'm back on track. Let's go. Let's do it again. Word up.
Okay. Well, so we're going to conclude it. All right, guys. So this concludes another episode of our Fitness and Life podcast, the Stretch Boss edition, aka Mrs. Rivera with NDO Champ. Anything you want to say, Stretch Boss?
I want to thank everybody just for sitting here and listening to me, all my followers. I appreciate Champ. He gave me a chance when nobody gave me a chance. And just everybody out there, strive for greatness. Continue what you're doing. And that's it.
Champ?
Yeah, you guys, man, thank you guys for watching. Listen, every episode be great, man, but this one raised a lot of information, a lot of successful information. Get your pen and paper ready and take notes for the stretch balls, man. She just give you the whole juice, how to be great in your craft. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, guys out there, man, one hand washing the other, both washing the face, all right? So please, man, don't be tight to help other people grow. You know what I'm saying? If you're out there, you see somebody who hungry, who wanted that bad, who hungry. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be hungry. Who hungry for greatness. You know what I'm saying? Or they've been grinding their whole life. All they need is that little lift. Be there, man. It's not all about money. You know what I'm saying? Help people that really want to make it to the top, that really hungry. And guess what? My success is that if somebody come up to me and say, "Yo, Champ, because of you, I made it. Because of you, I did it." That's one of the biggest accomplishments, biggest success in life. You know what I'm saying? Life is not about how many years you spend on earth, or how many years you've been doing it. The moment that counts. That's what his life is about. Count the moments. In 2019, what that moment when somebody comes to you and be like, "Stretch balls, you know what I'm saying? I could run again. I could squat again. I could pick up my baby. I could play basketball with my son. I could go to the gym with my son. You know what I'm saying? I could go to work, feel excited. I'm not limping no more." That's that moment that counts. Yeah. That's when you know you give everything in your heart. You know what I'm saying? That's when you know that you're like, "Thank you, God. Finally found my passion to help other people succeed and be great." You know what I'm saying? So guys, do everything with your heart. Don't half-stepping. Give 120% in whatever you do. You know, and love what you do, man. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you motivate other people out there and inspire other people, man. We out.